Hello, and welcome to A Journey to King's Cross, a Harry Potter book podcast. We just finished Chapter 12, the Triwizard Tournament. The artwork for this is actually, it's interesting. I guess I'm just so used to the movie scenes and stuff. I don't see the podium, and with everybody kind of crowded around him, it kind of just sort of looks like he's doing a magic show or something along those lines.
It does look like he's doing a bit.
Yeah. Like the curtains and everything.
Yeah.
Like it's so like nothing up my sleeve, and I'm gonna pull a coin behind your ear, or I'm gonna make an egg move to different places on my body.
Or look, nothing in my hands, but look at this scarf.
Yeah. There's like so many like little things and stuff and everything where it's just sort of like this. I know what they're trying to show, but it doesn't really feel like what you would expect.
Sometimes the movie did do things better.
I'd like to think that it's just more a creative license on the artist's part more than anything else, you know? We, of course, get the a small series of events that goes with the Hermione subplot, with Peeves being particularly antagonistic towards everyone. And with a quick conversation later on and stuff, we get the announcement of house elves being inside of the actual school and everything.
Much to Hermione's dismay.
After finding out they don't get pensions, and nearly headless Nick finding the idea absolutely laughable.
I mean, to be fair, he's, a ghost from the 1500s or something along those lines?
Yeah.
I get the distinct impression the idea of a pension and a retirement fund is a foreign concept to him to begin with.
It probably is. I mean, but if he's from the 1500s or whatever, he's Sir Nicholas de Pomsey. He was clearly a man of status, so he probably had serfs or servants in his house, so to him, a house elf is no different. So, and that would be like Hermione looking at him and being like, you don't pay your maid?
Paid? Maid? What are you talking?
She gets room and board? That's good enough for her?
That's pretty much probably what's going through Sir Nicholas's head.
I'm sure he's probably been updated a little bit over the years and stuff, being able to see the flow of time. That's one thing that always boggles me a little bit, is that they're capable of... Ghosts are... capable of retaining knowledge without a brain, a physical, system, so to speak.
It's magic, don't think on it too much.
All I can think to myself is the human brain is only supposed to be designed to survive, theoretically, at a maximum of about 200 years total, apparently. So I can only imagine that magic would need to be involved, or else a lot of these ghosts would be going crazy after a certain point, and they would either need... there would need to be some sort of exorcism. It is wild to think about, though, that Moaning Myrtle had a restraining order placed against her, and she cooperated with it. That
implies... How do you enforce
that?
I think they meant, there are magical means to ban ghosts or to restrict ghost movements. It's not very common that spells can affect ghosts. I feel like I remember either reading this or they mentioned it.
Here I am, thinking back to Supernatural, salt... Put a salt ring.
Who knows?
You okay?
Threaten an iron poker.
Fair enough. I mean, we do know that they can be physically affected by things, so it's definitely interesting on that department. We get the first new Hogwarts Sorting Hat song and stuff along those lines. I think it's Jim Dale who actually ends up singing it. Does a interesting rendition, I suppose.
At least he tried.
He put some effort into it, I give it to him. I know for a fact that he's not using his regular singing voice and stuff, but I could only hope that the real Sorting Hat would have a bit better of a singing voice after how many hundreds of years he's been doing this, so to speak. Oh, we also get Colin's little brother, who is super excited about falling into the lake. Honestly, sometimes both of the Creevy brothers feel like they're just here. You know what I mean? They're like they've gone to Universal Studios basically.
It's like they take Euphoria every day.
Which is weird, because you'd think anybody who's, like, super knowledgeable about Harry, you'd think it would have been a pureblood family that would have been like... But no.
Literally every person that freaks out about Harry in this book so far has been Muggleborn.
And that one foreigner.
And at least the interactions we see.
That's fair.
I'd like to think he'd
book
only have to
6.
really worry about new kids. You know what I mean? Like, every year he's gonna get swarmed with some pureblood kids.
They do mention in the first book, like, everyone's like, the novelty of Harry has worn off after being in trouble.
I know, but the novelty should be completely new for each new generation of first years.
Yeah, it should be like, oh, here we go, start a term. First years are going to be like, oh my god.
I love the little... I wonder if that person has realized that Slytherin has turned out more dark wizards. Like, I love how that line just keeps getting brought up over and over again. It's just sort of like, wow, Rowling, you've made one house completely evil. It's not like only a couple of people that are actually named become Death Eaters or anything, and the rest of them probably go on to live perfectly normal lives.
It's not like you also don't, like, break this later on when you introduce that, oh, Sirius's whole family was in Slytherin except for Sirius. And look, his brother Regulus was not that bad.
He did go, like, work for the Death Eaters and everything, but he got his head back on, like, after a certain point, you know what I mean? Without anybody else's influence. He's just sort of like, you mistreated my house elf. Them's fighting words. I'm now going to make it my life's mission to kill you in some way, shape, or form.
Hey,
oh shit, was that why Regulus did it? I forgot.
I'm allowed to be a dick to my house elf because he's my house elf, but you're not allowed to touch my property. That's kind of what it sounds like.
Yeah. We get a reminder of Harry's infatuation with Cho when he's like, maybe being in Ravenclaw wouldn't be so bad. He thinks this now until he realizes how he needs to get into the actual Ravenclaw Tower house.
Like,
he'd be Neville. He'd be Neville of Ravenclaw, basically.
He'd be sitting outside going,
I mean, there's
Please
a theory that
someone solve the
the
riddle.
door's like, wow, you're stupid. I'm going to give you an easier riddle.
All I could think to myself is that out of all the houses, the Ravenclaw house seems like it'd be the most frustrating to deal with, especially if...
Finals week.
Oh god, the burnout alone, and then to go to bed, you gotta answer a riddle, you'd be like...
at that point, I'm just gonna stay in my dorm and study.
Watch, it's like, why is a raven like a writing desk? I don't know, you tell me!
You're the Raven!
Actually, it's an eagle.
I know. But still.
Ironically
That
enough...
was such a delayed reaction. You're trying to think of a comeback, and you're like, yeah.
I had to think for a minute. I was like, wait, is it an eagle? It looks like a
Movie
raven.
is a
and then I was like,
raven.
no, that's right. It's an eagle.
Yeah.
Damn movies always making things confusing and complicated.
I mean, if anything, I think J.K. Rowling is the complicated one for making Ravenclaw an eagle. It doesn't make sense.
Eagle claw doesn't flow as well, and a raven compared to all the other animals doesn't seem as impressive.
Then just leave it as a raven.
There's a motherfucking badger, and it's not even.
And it's exactly, it is a motherfucking badger.
It's a European badger. Those are things that are adorable.
I know, it's quite quaint.
It's definitely not the badger.
To be fair, a lot of the animals are relatively mundane and everything outside of the lion for Gryffindor. So, theoretically speaking, they could probably have a raven without it being too much of an issue. Something wrong?
I just wonder what your cat's up to.
Well, just thankful she's up and about. I have to admit, though, like Ron deciding to try and tempt Hermione into actually eating dessert and stuff is kind of amusing, and the fact that she gives her a McGonagall-like look and he finally stops bothering her.
He even offers her spotted dick. I guess the freckles do go all the way down.
Dang it.
Yes?
Kimmy!
Yes?
Kimmy!
What?
No!
Kimmy, yes.
They're 15? They're 15, Kimmy.
They're 14.
I always thought he was at like his first year was an 11. So
Look,
so,
man,
okay.
we live in America. Kids definitely start fucking at 14.
Or
We don't
earlier.
like to talk about it, okay? I know for a fact that
It's
I
like
knew
Bruno.
a person that basically talked about the fact that he got laid like super early in lifespan, and he kind of regretted that decision because it's like I was chasing it ever since. I'm like, fair enough, I suppose. I'll take your word for it on that department. I definitely nothing like that actually happened to me for a very long time. Anyway, we go through the whole like bit and caboodle and stuff, and we finally get introduced to Mad Eye Moody, who of course is fashionably late since they did make a mention of Lupin not being up there at the actual counter. I think somebody even mentioned the possibility of them not even having the class this year, which would be,
Hermione did, and she was horrified.
Because dear God forbid we have anybody who actually is super enthusiastic about it.
Listen, girl got petrified for the majority of a year, and then was sad when finals got canceled.
$10 says she still would have aced everything and been top of the class. Girl missed out on almost half a year's worth of education and everything, and is still schooling everybody else around her. If that isn't like an indication of her ability, the only issue is your time management skills.
Did you put Nip down here?
Why? No, I don't think
She's
so.
acting like she's got catnip.
Your cat is acting like she's high.
I haven't done anything. My cat is friendly enough. I don't need to drug her.
But it's so much fun.
I'll take your word for it.
Have you not seen your cat on Nip?
It's been a while, to be honest. So, anyway, after a very poor round of applause for for Mad Eye Moody
Can
and
you
everything,
even call that a round of applause?
I was being sassy, but fair enough. But we, of course, get the introduction of the titular title of the chapter, the Triwizard Tournament. And, I do love the fact that they're like, Fred's like, "You're joking." And he's like, now that you mention it, I did hear a really nice joke, and, like, McGonagall's gotta keep him in line. I'm morbidly curious what that joke was that, like, McGonagall was like, not appropriate there, Professor. I sometimes definitely get the impression that, like, Dumbledore, if given the opportunity, would be even madder around the Hogwarts school if it weren't for the fact that McGonagall keeps him in line.
Watch, there was never a deputy headmistress before Dumbledore became headmaster. And then McGonagall took it upon herself to be like, someone's got to keep your crazy ass in line.
Love the thought process that, however, I believe has been disproven with the Legacy video game, as a Weasley is in fact the deputy headmistress for Filius Nigellus Black during his time as headmaster. Arguably the worst headmaster that ever occurred, by Sirius Black's own admission. I love how Hermione is the only one concerned about the death toll, though. Like, what in the world? She's like, what is going on here? Kind of reminds me of Harry in Year 1, where they're like, don't go up to the 3rd floor corridor, or else you'll have a very severe death, and Harry's the only one looking around like, does anybody else kind of, like, this sounds concerning. Why is nobody concerned?
Harry's been fully integrated into the wizarding world.
And Hermione's still kind of holding on to those old applications and stuff. But... yeah, I do have to admit, we were, like, making comments about, like, the twins being very... we made a comment about, like, the twins could easily have won this.
Yes, 100%. They would do it some crazy asinine way. The judges would all be huddled together going, can they do that? Is that legal? It is now, but it's gonna be illegal next time.
They would. I have to admit, they would have caused so much chaos and everything, and I would have been all here for it.
They'd have to have a minder to make sure that they're not switching spots.
Oh God. Yeah, because only one of them would have been able to get in.
Nope, we gotta keep one of you under lockdown all times, so you guys can't switch spaces.
I think there was I like to think the magical contract would make it so one of them would be the one that did get in would be the one that's required to participate. Otherwise,
How do you prove it?
It's a magically binding contract. We don't even know what the consequences of breaking it are.
They're dire, though. We know that.
Very dire. I would imagine something horrible or something along those lines.
I don't understand why they couldn't just be like, okay, Harry, you've got to quote-unquote participate, but you can forfeit each challenge. It doesn't really make any sense.
You're absolutely right. That is true. However, counterpoint, dull-ass book if that's the case.
Well,
Because could you imagine Harry during
That's the plot of every show and book ever. God, they're so stupid. Why didn't they do it this way? Oh, look.
Because we wouldn't have a plot.
Exactly!
The second tournament, the second task would be so boring. So anyway, Harry sat on the edge, basically watching the surface of the water, waiting desperately for the next person to pop up for the next hour. And, lo and behold, the first person that popped up was Cedric and everything. And then followed supposedly become, and, one of them got it, Fleur got attacked by Grindylow, so she's, she's last place technically.
What's happening down there? Also, where the hell are Ron and Hermione?
Boring, dull, uninteresting.
We definitely wouldn't have had the scene in the movie. Oh my god, I killed Harry Potter!
That was pretty funny.
Honestly, it is kind of funny that technically Fake Moody's plan worked in the movie, but did not work in the book, of all things. Kind of a weird thought process to really think about, though. Because that was the original plan, was to give Neville the book with the information that he needed in it, and for Harry to ask.
Harry's not good at subtle hints.
Harry is so used to doing everything on his own with only the help of Ron and Hermione.
And also, he wasn't trying to be a cheater.
Even though apparently cheating's a tradition.
Well, Harry didn't know that. Nobody told him.
So, I gotta ask, though, is this trick staircase that, Neville, falls into and everything, is that actually been mentioned in any of the previous
Book
stories? One. Okay. There was something. Good to know. I've always appreciated when a story actually puts a plot point ahead before it becomes something that gets brought up.
They did mention it in book one, because they were talking about the staircases change and getting lost.
And sometimes the steps aren't even there.
Yep. And all I could think to myself is, God, I'd hate to be in that castle with ADHD.
Oh, right? I love
how Harry's like, yeah, most of the older students have, they just know where it's at. I'm sorry, dude.
I don't know where I'm at.
You don't have ADHD. You can't trip on flat ground. On air. You don't have that skill.
I mean, to be fair, I think it takes forever before they start actually talking about some of the shortcuts they actually find over the course of the actual Hogwarts castle. I like to think that after a certain point, they just don't even bother with the damn regular stairs. You know what I mean?
Well, that's fair. That just kind of proves... I know you've said before that wizarding folk have to be more durable. And I'm like, this is your fucking school, you have to be more durable than muggles. Because, damn!
Well, when your school tries to kill you...
You learn fast.
Because, imagine if you were, being a weirdo and hopping down the stairs, and you put both feet on a trick staircase, and would you just fall straight through?
Good question. Harry seems to struggle getting out of it later on in the book and everything.
They made it sound like Neville got stuck. Yeah. And not, fell forward. Because I would imagine if the stair is missing, you would go to step and fall forward. Your foot would go straight through, and then you would, face plant.
It's trick because it's, sticky or something.
Yeah.
I like to think you sink into it kind of like a makeshift quicksand or something.
Or, the step is lower than where it should actually be.
But that wouldn't really get you stuck or anything. It would just trip you up.
Yeah, I don't know. Let me see.
It doesn't really go into detail about it. They just say that Neville, accidentally triggered the trick staircase or whatever, or something, while mid-conversation about how his Graham would totally want him to be doing something. But,
But yeah, later Harry does kind of, sink through it, because he needs help getting pulled out of the step.
Yeah, so I figure it's more similar to, a weird magical quicksand thing with that step.
Maybe it changes. Maybe sometimes it's sticky, sometimes you have to get pulled out.
They don't mention, like, pulling Neville out, but they also
No,
don't...
they do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's his foot sunk right through a step halfway up. There were many of these trick stairs. Second nature to most of the older students to jump this particular step, Harry and Ron seized him under the armpits and pulled him out. While a suit of armor at the top of the stairs creaked and clanged, laughing wheezily. That is insult to injury.
That's just the story of poor Neville's life all the way up until, like, books...
Way to be a friend, though, Ron.
Book 5.
Ron goes, shut it, you, banging down its visor as they passed.
Ron will not tolerate any Neville slander,
Hey,
apparently.
that's my friend. We get to pick on him. We get to petrify him. Shut the hell up.
Inter-house camaraderie at its finest. Obviously, everybody's got their own team, and they will stick with it.
I mean, McGonagall wasn't kidding when she said, your house will be like your family.
Yeah.
That's my brother. Only I get to mess with him and call him stupid. You call him stupid. That's fighting words.
We, of course, get everybody returning back to the dorms, setting up some new individual items and stuff. I think there was a pin, and the Victor Crumb figure was set off to the side.
Yep, and then Dean put up a poster of the football team, which I found it really...
Soccer!
Well, I was actually just going to say,
I'm teasing.
Literally, one sentence, his old poster of the West Ham football team was pinned right next to it. Mental, Ron sighed, shaking his head at the completely stationary soccer players. Like, they can't even keep it straight.
I'm guessing the West Hampton football team is the official name of the actual team itself. And them calling it a soccer players and everything is much more for the Americans, basically.
The editor still missed something. They should have just been like...
They could have just said, West Hampton soccer team, basically, yeah. They probably should have, because I refuse to call it football. It is soccer, and I will die on that hill.
I mean, it was called soccer first, wasn't it?
Yes,
yeah, I think they changed it because they were being too pompous.
Soccer.
Yeah, they also created the British accent as well in order to more differentiate themselves from the Americans as well. So, it's
don't we have the technical...
Original British accent, yes.
Supposedly.
No, actually, it's historic. Like, it's even like a Shakespearean thing and stuff where Shakespeare sounds better in American English than it does British English because of the original tone it was created in.
So, what section of America would it sound the best in?
Ooh, that's a good question.
New England?
I would imagine somewhere on the eastern coast and stuff would have the closest original.
I want to hear it in a Jersey accent, please. Thanks.
That includes the hey, I'm walking here!
It does.
Oh,
I beg my son, you sir.
Juliet, the glove on her hand. If only to be the glove. I can't.
Now we're going Scottish. What are we doing here, man?
I can't hold. I can't hold the Jersey accent very well.
I don't even know how to do a Jersey accent. God, I have to go way back because we had a Boston accent at work for a hot minute.
All right. We do get one last bit before the actual chapter ends and stuff, where he's thinking about Cho Chang and how awesome it would be to be the Triwizard champion, and like how cool it would be, and she'd totally like me and everything else. He's very consistent in his attraction to her, to be perfectly honest, which is actually pretty nice that they popped that up in the previous book and everything, and that affection has actually grown quite a bit over summer. My boy's turning into a man. Turning. He isn't quite one yet. We're still working on that.
It takes time. I was just listening to this last paragraph of the chapter, and it's like he's Hogwarts champion, standing on the grounds, his arms raised in triumph, all of whom were applauding and screaming. He had just won the Triwizard tournament. Well, some of those are true. Some of those are the opposite.
I love how he's daydreaming about this and everything, but when he actually gets forced into it, he's like, oh shit, no! I had no problems pretending and like dreaming about it and everything, but I was kind of hoping not to get involved in this nonsense.
I feel like if...
Nope.
I feel like if the whole school had been like, fuck yeah, Harry's in! He would have been more like, alright, let's do it! But literally the whole school was like, how the fuck did you do this? And his own best friend is like, I fucking hate you, bro.
Yeah,
I think that probably really soured it for him.
Ironically enough, I don't really think he starts feeling himself until after he completes the first task. Then he goes back into panic mode after realizing what the second task is. Then after completing the second one, he's just sort of like, alright, I got this. Which is kind of funny that he freaks out so much when like, for the past 3 years now, he's been...
best friend is not on his side.
I know, but even after the fact, you like, really think, like, I deal with this shit all the time. Like, you know, like, he never really seems to draw on his own experience dealing with this crap. He, like, literally went through his own little gauntlet in first year, basically. So, it's kind of like, you know, and, like, obviously he's like, oh, I had help. Mr. fucking humble and everything about it. It's like, when... You took on a basilisk with nothing more than with a phoenix and a freaking sword, all right, dude?
You know,
you're pulling off shit that most wizards would, like, grown adults would be freaking the hell out about.
It's probably also partly the first 3 books, all of those events, it was just him, Ron, and Hermione. If anyone. Or it was just him. And now he's got to do this shit in front of the whole fucking school?
That's true.
He makes a similar
3
comment.
schools?
He makes a similar comment and everything. But the funny thing is he doesn't necessarily realize he has a leg up on all this competition, because nobody has done anything remotely close to what the tournament involves. Like, Harry should, like, to be perfectly honest, if Harry was a lot more like his father and everything, he'd be like, I got this.
Be like, I faced a basilisk when I was 12.
What,
a
you think
dragon? No biggie.
Oh, the biggest, scariest dragon of them all? Blaze.
I wanted it the whole time. Like, more chances to show off. Messes up his hair intentionally, even though his hair is
Shows
already
off
messy.
the scar.
Oh god, I would love
Harry fucking Potter.
I would love to see the alternate universe where James reincarnates as his son, basically, and proceeds to be everything that Severus Snape hates, and just continues to be even more of a menace towards people.
He would have to look like his mom in that universe.
Oh, easily. Oh, that'd make it even better. I can see Snape grinding his teeth, basically.
He's gonna get... With that kind of attitude, everyone would be like, he's one of the twins. He's one of the twins. He's just a Weasley. Ah!
I could see him basically treating poor Ron, even, like, you know, dragging him around.
Oh, God.
You're the new...
Like,
you're my new...
triplets!
They're like, our long-lost brother that we've always wanted.
Ron's like, I'm right fucking here.
That we wanted.
Jesus, that's mean.
Yeah? You have siblings?
I know, I love it.
You can't tell me you never looked at Ariel and went, I wanted a fucking brother, damn it.
That's the part that is more amusing than anything else. The reason she has that name is because everybody said it was going to be a boy, and I was like, no, it's going to be a girl. And the deal was, I got to name her.
And then you hated her.
Oh, no, she's...
You can't tell me later on, after she started to be a little shit, you never looked at her and be like, damn it, I wanted a fucking brother.
I think I was wise enough to realize that you know, a younger sibling of any kind is just going to be a pain in the neck to some degree.
It really is. I mean, what?
I was not like a smart kid and everything, but I was like to some degree aware of the scenario. I was very much aware that even after school that, like, you know, adult life would be just as frustratingly to deal with. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, I recognized adulthood as a trap fairly early on in my life and everything. I was like, this is gonna suck.
Fair enough. As you guys can tell, this chapter, not a lot happened.
It's like that. The long chapters have nothing to talk about.
But,
lots of descriptions, lots of extra, like, little tidbits of conversation and stuff. We're kind of summarizing this one more than anything else.
True. I'll be dipping out, though. I gotta get going. If you want to find more of my content, you can find me at Luna's Creation Corner. I promise I'll post again someday.
Please, we need the posts.
I know.
You're one to talk. When's the last time you did one of your floss tube things?
Shush you.
I don't want to talk about it.
That's what I thought. I'm like the only person consistently uploading shit and everything, and I'm just streaming to an audience of one.
I have all the time in the world to just go away and do my thing.
I'm Mr. Perfect. I'm consistent. I don't have ADHD.
I don't have a million other things to do in a normal sleep schedule, and I have a normal sleep schedule.
And also, my kids bother my wife, not me. Fuck you.
Yeah,
Like
go
you
fuck
ever
yourself.
did your floss tube while the kids were awake or around.
That's beside the point, bitch. Shush you.
The point is, we're picking fun of you, alright?
I'm feeling very attacked right now.
You should be. Plug your fucking shit.
Cole, Coal Sanders, Twitch, Mondays, Wednesdays, anywhere. Usually try to go a little bit around 8 o'clock. Basically, try to go for about an hour up until 9.
Eastern Standard Time.
Still trying to get through Persona 3 Reloaded and everything. I've gotten a lot further after completing certain parts of it and everything. So hopefully it won't be too much longer. I'm past the halfway point finally.
And if I ever upload again, you can find me on YouTube at Brandywine Stitches, or the rest of my socials at Hockeytown Candle Co. Yeah, I know, I need to get back to it.
Anyway, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. We always appreciate anybody bringing any topics up and stuff. If you have any things that you think we'd be interested in talking, like, subjects and stuff and everything else.
Anything you want to add? Anything you disagreed with? Let us know.
Anyway, until next time, keep your wands at the ready.